Now, I've been a fan of British comedy for most of my life. But in terms of political satire, I am admittedly a recent convert. I was first introduced to the work of Armando Iannucci through In the Loop, which is a brilliant film, and I'd recommend it to everybody. And that inspired me to then watch The Thick of It, which is the TV show that In the Loop was spun off from, which is also very good, and I would recommend it to everybody. Recently, I watched one of his more recent films called Death of Stalin, and it's a departure from The Thick of It and In the Loop in that it's still a political satire, but it's a period political satire, as suggested by the name. And as also suggested by the name, the plot revolves around the death of Stalin. Now, I know very little about communist Russia, very little about Stalin or Lenin or any of those folks. So yeah, I approached a complete clean slate. Basically, I can say if you're expecting it to be like In the Loop or The Thick of It, but set in communist Russia, you're not going to be disappointed because that's exactly what it is. And I wasn't disappointed because that's exactly what I was looking for. It's got an amazing cast. Every time a new character turned up, I was like, oh my god, it's that guy. I love that guy. Jeffrey Tambor, Michael Palin, Jason Isaacs, Simon Russell Beale, the horribly underrated Simon Russell Beale, Paddy Considine, Steve Buscemi, a packed cast. It was amazing. It was very clever, very well written. It's basically about after Stalin dies, there's a power vacuum that creates the best drama and intrigue with people vying for power and conspiracies and secret conversations and people ganging up against other people and all that sort of stuff. It's great and it's filled with that. But the humor is very keen. Basically, Armando Iannucci's humor revolves around adults in high political stations behaving like children and being very immature. It's very funny to see and very daunting an idea that how close to the truth it could be. Apparently, Armando Iannucci is a big fan of the classic British sitcom Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, which makes perfect sense because it's that same sort of humor, although there tends to be a bit more swearing in Armando Iannucci's work. It's interesting, actually, how in his period films, because he's done two so far, he's done Death of Stalin and he did David Copperfield, which I also watched and I also really liked. There's a surrealism to them, which I find quite interesting. Color's always very vibrant and it's very almost cartoony in a way, but to a degree it still takes itself seriously. For example, even though it's set in Russia and all the characters are Russian, it's got a combination of English and American cast. They all maintain their actual accents. It removes you from the reality of the situation. It finds a nice, comfortable place for the comedy to live. I'm not going to pretend that I followed the plot all the way through, because I didn't. But that's not a strike against the film. It's just my brain, really. Politics is not my first language. But yeah, brilliant performances all around. Everyone just at the peak of their comedic styles. And I can't wait to see what Armando Iannucci does next, because I know it's going to be brilliant and hilarious.